Well, hello, everybody. We're joined today with Sean Kutzko. He is the PR guru over at the ARRL. So what's your official title?
I'm the Media and Public Relations Manager at ARRL.
And I remember you from the days when you were the contest guy. So
Yep.
Congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you.
Bet it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, I get to have my fingers in lots of different aspects of ham radio now, not just contesting. So
And
it's
I
a
bet
lot
you've
of fun.
been busy because you had the Centennial event. And now, what's the big event you got going on this year?
National Parks on the Air. It's the 100th anniversary of the National Park Service, and we've got a small role to play in that, and we're having a lot of fun with it.
And it seems like a lot of people who are activating and chasing are having fun as well. As a matter of fact, I got my little map, so
It
I'm
looks
all ready
great.
to go.
I got one in my office, too. It's a nice map.
It is very nice. So kind of tell a little bit about National Parks on the Air and just kind of give an overview for the folks that aren't aware of that.
Well, again, this is the centennial anniversary of the National Park Service, and they've been pushing this for quite a while. And I've had the idea of having national parks be a unit that ham radio operators can activate, especially with this being the NPS centennial. So we devised this program to allow portable operations from National Park Service units across the country. There are 483 units within the National Park Service that qualify for National Parks on the Air. We've been working to get this organized for pretty much a year and a half, so it's nice to finally see this all come to fruition.
Now, it's been going on for just a little over a month now. How many activations have there been and QSOs, and what are your totals right now?
Well, we just compiled information for the month of January, and we've had 243 out of those 483 units activated with just over 600 unique activations, and a total of about 71,000 QSOs have been uploaded to Logbook of the World for National Parks on the Air. So if that trend continues, we're looking at breaking 1 million Qs for National Parks on the Air in 2016.
That's amazing. I know when the ARRL Centennial ended, that left a big hole and people were craving this kind of thing. So it's great that you came out with this idea to do this. Now, if somebody wants to activate a park, what are some of the steps they need to do in order to do that?
Well, the main thing to keep in mind is that there was a lot of negotiation with the National Park Service in Washington, but there is no formal agreement in place between National Park Service and the American Radio Relay League for this event. So the best thing that you can do if you want to activate a park is to contact the park office directly and get permission to transmit amateur radio from their park. We're getting a lot of feedback from various park units all throughout the system at this point that by and large, they're okay with it. If somebody wants to do a larger activation with a large group of people or a whole club where there's going to be a large display on hand or larger antennas, then you really need to work with the park in question and make sure that everything's okay, especially for the smaller parks or parks that may be in urban locations. Remember, National Parks on the Air is not just about the 59 national parks throughout the United States. There are battlefields, there are historic sites, there are seashores, rivers, trails, there are all different kinds of units, and some of those units, especially the historic sites and the monuments, some of those are located in very urban areas, so getting an antenna set up in some of those areas can be a little tricky, so you want to make sure that you coordinate with the Park Service unit in question.
Now, do they require special use permits for these larger groups?
There's a lot of discussion about that. I was on a conference call with one of the communications groups for the National Park Service about 2 weeks ago, and the general feeling is that if it's a smaller operation, say 1 or 2 people that are operating from their car in a unit's parking lot, generally speaking, there probably doesn't need to be a special use permit for that. If it's a larger operation, like I just described a minute ago, a special use permit would probably be required. But again, that is up to the discretion of each individual NPS unit.
Now, once they get approval and they're all good to go, what should they do next in order to let the world know that they're going to be on the air?
Well, at our website for National Parks on the Air, which is arrl.org/NPOTA, there is a link to an area called the Leaderboard. And the Leaderboard is tracking all of the statistical information about how many contacts with parks you've made and how many activations you've made. The National Parks on the Air program has 2 tracks, one for chasers, which are the people who collect all of the National Parks on the Air units, and then there is a track for activators. That's the track for the people who actually go out to the units and transmit from the parks. We keep track of how many units are worked and how many parks you transmit from. And one of the best ways that you can let people know that you're going to be active from a park is on the Leaderboard. There is an area for an activations calendar, and you can post your activation information on that calendar. You don't have to if you don't want to, but we strongly recommend it because that's where all the big chasers for National Parks on the Air are looking for information about which parks are going to be on.
Now, also, I noticed in that Leaderboard area, there's some forms you can download that will kind of give you all the parks on the air. You can actually sort it by code, and so you can find out what state they're in, so you can aim your beam that way, right? I find this very handy, and I sort of check them off as I go, you know, if I work somebody. So I got a long way to go, though.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few people who have quite a distance to go. I myself have I think I've only worked like 28 or 29 of them so far. But no, your point is well taken. On the Leaderboard area, we have a list of all of the units, and you can sort those by the unit name. You can sort them by state. You can sort them by the alphanumeric designator, you know, NP62 or whatever the case may be. So you can sort that list in any way that you are comfortable, and then you can print that right off of our website. On the National Parks on the Air Facebook group, there have been several people who have uploaded units lists in various forms, and you can, if you subscribe to the Facebook group and you join that group, there are forms there that you can download from the files area in the Facebook group as well.
And that Facebook group is great. I'm a member of that group because people will let you know when they're going to be active, so that helps too, instead of just relying on spotting networks. Now, once they're all done operating from these parks, what's their next step in order for us to get confirmation? Because I think if they just do a regular LOTW upload, it's going to look like I worked them from their house, correct?
That's correct. It's important to remember that National Parks on the Air is completely administered through Logbook of the World. So for people to get credit for your activation from one of these National Parks on the Air units, you need to upload your log to Logbook of the World. That's how all of this statistical data is compiled. When an activator uploads their log in the process where you choose a station location, we now have all 483 National Parks on the Air units listed as part of the station location. So if you were to operate from Yosemite National Park, you would be able to choose that as part of your station location when you sign and upload your log as an activator. Chasers don't need to add any park information to the logs that they upload to Logbook of the World. The confirmation is handled entirely by the activator who transmits from the park, signing their log with a park as part of their station location, and that's how the confirmation for that park is given during the matching process in Logbook. You're welcome to exchange QSL cards as part of National Parks on the Air if you want. I've already received plenty of cards myself for some of the activations that I've done and others that I've worked, but paper QSL cards do not count towards activator and chaser totals. In order to get credit for those units, you need to confirm it through Logbook of the World.
Well, this has been very informative. Hopefully everybody out there is going to get out there and activate or chase. I know we're planning an activation from LK01, which is the Apostle Islands. We're going there at the end of July. We have a campsite with power, so that'll be good. We got our permission. We have about 5 operators so far. So
that's going to be great.
Yeah, I will videotape my adventures for everybody. So thank you so much for joining us, Sean. I appreciate you taking the time out to let everybody know about this great event.
You're welcome. And if anybody has any questions, Norm Fusaro, W3IZ, will be giving a presentation on National Parks on the Air at the Orlando Hamcation this coming weekend. So stop by the booth and see us. We'd be happy to talk to you.
Sounds great. Thank you again.
Thank you.